All right, I'll let that load up. So I'm going to hold down Control. We're going to mask lasso, and I'm going to go through here. And if she's going to be wearing a vest, it'll probably be something like this, and it'll go up around her neck. And then we'll hold down Control, and we'll go to Mask Pin, and we'll go ahead and close that mask up. And you'll notice, you know, I let ZRemesher do a lot of work for me. I don't really sweat trying to go through here and topologize a lot, but we will talk a little bit about like the topology brush, and that'll get you some quick results as well. So what I'm going to do is duplicate her off. I'm going to hit Control W, which is going to make it all one polygroup, or what I like to do too, so we duplicated her off, I'm going to delete lower, and we're going to go over here to our edge loop and do an edge loop mask border, and that's going to allow us to get a little slice through there. If you didn't do that, what I'd have to do, let's go ahead and do a geometry modified topology delete hidden. You can go down here to like masking and then do a mask border, mask by features border, and you can like grow that mask if you want to, and Control tap to invert that mask, and then you can go over here to your deformation menu and do like a polish by features or something, and then smooth that out. Essentially what I'm doing is trying to get rid of that alias stepping so that ZRemesher doesn't look at that and try to pick that up. So now that I've got that shape, and actually even before I did that, what I might do is do a little bit of concept sculpting. So it's like, okay, this isn't going to be a form-fitting vest by any means, so I can go through here and I can take the clay brush and I can kind of pull this out just a little bit here so I don't have to do it later, and ZRemesher will just follow along with this. I'm going to switch over here to Smooth Stronger just a bit because I am working on a little bit higher resolution, and then yeah, down her back isn't going to be stuck to her spine or anything like that. So you can go through here. You don't have to inflate that much. That we can take care of in ZModeler in a minute, but we're just going to go through here, kind of pull that out just a tad. Okay, so Control tap to invert that. Let's go back down here to geometry, delete lower. What are we looking for here? Edge of the mouse border. Control Shift Tap to get rid of that. Geometry Modified Topology, delete hidden. Under ZRemesher, let's just do a half, adaptive size down to 0, ZRemesh. We do have X symmetry turned on, I believe, so it should be symmetrical. And you only have to wait for it to go through here once. We're going from 100,000 polys down, or points down to something reasonable, 50,000. It's still pretty high though, so I'm just going to keep hitting half. And it'll go faster each time. You can do a projectile back, but since we want this off of her body a little bit, I'm going to skip that part, and there we go. That's a nice enough vest. So now we can go through here and we can kind of help ZRemesher out a little bit. We can even out some of these edges here. We got this thing here, and what we're going to do is we have our vest shape. So it's pretty easy. I didn't have to do too much modeling, right? So I'm going to go through here, and because let's do QMesh, and if you get any tight spots on here, might be better to do an extrude polygroup all, so that when you're QMeshing, it is a feature of QMesh. So if we extrude this, you can see we can extrude out, and then if we want to make it, so right now it's sitting on her body. If you did want it to go in a little bit, you can just start extruding in or QMeshing in, hold down Shift, and just pull along those surface normals. The reason why I avoid QMesh in some situations, if you do a QMesh, and you do a single poly, and then you do a QMesh right next to it, it'll snap those polygons together. It's a cool feature, and you can also snap through and get rid of these polygons. So it's a really, really cool way to model. We'll get to that in a second when we get to the drone. But when you're just extruding thickness, sometimes it can like grab things you don't necessarily want. So here's a vest here, and if you want to make this vest a little bit fancier, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can hover over this, you can do an inset polygroup all region, and you can inset this, and then you can go through here and like QMesh polygroup all, and you QMesh this down, give yourself a little ring. That method can sometimes give you triangles. In this case, I think we're in good shape as far as just like giving you thickness, and if you wanted to do like crease level here, maybe crease PG, dynamic, crease level of 3, as I did before. You know, you got a little vest going. Of course, you're going to want to sculpt wrinkles and stuff. But instead of doing it that method, sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a QMesh polygroup all on these ones here, just to pull out thickness this way. And then I can pull out thickness this way. It's going on either side, so you can also do polygroup island, and you can say pull this one out, and then if you want to do this one as well, just tap it, and it'll give you the same value. This one avoids triangles a little bit better, depending on your situation. So you can do that. Now, of course, you know, this is just the beginning of this vest. You're going to want to, again, you can crease, and then you can turn on dynamic if you want to preview it. But of course, since this is organic and cloth, we're going to skip turning on dynamic, and we're just going to hit D to subdivide or Control D to subdivide. So now we can go through here and we can start, you know, sculpting in our primary and secondary forms. And of course, cloth generally isn't symmetrical, so maybe avoid having symmetry on. But since I'm so very, very lazy, we're just going to keep symmetry on. Except back here. You know what? We'll break symmetry back here. And that's another thing too, is you can work with symmetry on or symmetry off. You can have X symmetry on for like on the sides where you won't see it, or you want to keep that on a bake that's going to be the same, and then break symmetry on the front and on the back or anything you want to do like that.